Hello and welcome. In this video we want to find some limits from the given graph. Suppose this given graph here is the graph of the function y equals f of x. And we are asked to answer the following questions. First, we want to find f of 2. We want to find the value of the function when x is 2. Here x is equal to 2. What is the value of the function? What is the y value corresponding to x equals 2? If we go up, the y value of the function is here. Attention, this here is a hole. We don't have any value here. So the value of the function when x is 2 is equal to 3. If suppose here is 3, so when x is 2, f of 2 is 3. What is f of 0? If we look at point 0, x0, if we go up, we have no y value. If we go down, also we have no y value for this function. So finally, what is f of 0? F of 0 is undefined for this function. We don't have any value corresponding to x equals 0. When x is 0, this function is undefined, as you can see in the graph of the function. F of negative 2. When x is negative 2, here we have an asymptote, and as you can see, again we have no value for f for the function f when x is negative 2. So f of negative 2 is also undefined. F of 4. When x is 4, here is 4, the y value of the function, if we go up, the y value is here, and the y value, we can say it's 1. F of 4 is 1. Now finally, we want to find some limits. These are important questions. What is limit of this function when x approaches 0 from the right? This is one-sided limit. Attention, x approaches 0 from the right, which means that we approach to point 0 but from the right side. So we want to move toward x equals 0 but from the right. If we follow the curve, attention, follow the curve, what is the y value of your function when you approach to 0? Attention, x is not 0, x is close to 0 but a little greater than 0. When x is approaching 0, the y value of the function approaches 4. The limit of the function is 4. If you look at here, f of 0 is undefined. This is completely different thing. Here we want to see if x is close to point 0 from the right side, somewhere here, what is the y value of the function? When x approaches 0, the y value of the function approaches 4. And it doesn't matter if here is a hole or it's filled. The limit is not dependent to the value of the function at that point. The limit is different thing. Now in the next question, we want to find limit of this function when x approaches 0 from the left side. Now this time we want to approach to point 0, very close to 0, but from the left. And what is the y value of the function when x is close to 0 from the left? Somewhere here. What is the corresponding y value of your function? As you can see here in this graph, when x approaches 0, the graph of this function goes toward negative infinity. If we approach to 0, very close to 0, the y value is going to be a very large negative number. So limit is negative infinity. Actually, it seems that from the left, only from the left of 0, we have like a vertical asymptote here. The function approaches to this vertical asymptote, and this curve is going to go down forever. So we say the limit is negative infinity. What about the next limit? Well, now here we want to find limit of the function f from the two sides. This is x from to the 0. When we have such limit, this means that x approaches 0 from the left and x approaches 0 from the right. This is a two-sided limit. If you look at here, from the right limit is 4, from the left is negative infinity, and these are different things. When the left limit and right limit even if they exist, but they are not equal to each other, we say that the general limit, the two-sided limit, does not exist. So this limit does not exist. Attention also here, when we say the limit is negative in infinity, this doesn't mean that the limit exists. No, the limit doesn't exist. Limit only exists when it is a number. So also here you can say the limit does not exist. But here, from the left, because the curve goes to negative infinity, we prefer to say the limit is negative infinity. But this doesn't mean that the limit exists. Now we want to find these limits. What is the limit of this function when x approaches negative 2? Attention again, this is a two-sided limit, so you have to look from the left and from the right at point negative 2. Where is negative 2? Negative 2 is here. When x approaches negative 2 from the left, the curve is going up without any bound. The y value of the function, for example, if x is here, the y value is a very large number, so it goes to infinity. From the right also, when x approaches negative 2, from the right, the y value of the function, this time you have to focus on this. But when x approaches negative 2, if you follow this curve also goes to positive infinity. So from the left and from the right side, from both sides, this limit is infinity, positive infinity. So we can say the limit is infinity, or you can say the limit does not exist, because infinity means the limit does not exist. What about next one? Limit of f of x when x approaches 2. 2 is here. Again, this is a two-sided limit, so you have to focus on from the left and from the right. If x approaches 2 from the left, you have to focus on this part of the curve. And when x approaches 2 from the left, somewhere here, the y value of the function is close to 2. You have to follow this approach to 2. The y value, attention, the y value is 2. If you approach 2 from the right, you have to follow this curve. When we are so close to 2 from the right, the y value of the function is also almost 2. So from the left and from the right, from both sides, we have same limit. What was the limit? 2. From the left is 2, from the right is 2, so the limit exists. Attention, from the left and from the right, we have same limit, so the limit exists and it is equal to. Finally, we want to find limit of this function when x approaches 4. If you want, you can pause the video right now, focus on point 4, from the left, from the right, and try to find the limit when x approaches 4. Hopefully you could find the limit. Let me explain you how you can find it. When x approaches 4 from the left, somewhere here, very close to 4 from the left, if you focus, the y value is almost 1. From the right also, if you very close to 4 from the right, the y value is also almost 1. So from the left, limit is 1. From the right, limit is 1. So from both sides, it exists and it equals to each other. So the limit exists and limit is 1. I hope you enjoyed this video and see you in the next videos.